Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning or good evening, good night to those who watch this right now. Today, we will present for our subject IMU 502, and our topic is about the acceptance on Islamic home financing BBA in Malaysia. My name is Abdullah Fambirosli, number matric 2019294054. Before we go to the other topic, I would like to present to you about what is our objective for this presentation. Number one is to clarify about the concept of BBA. Secondly is to explain about the implementation of BBA in Malaysia. And last but not least is to discuss the BBA issues and acceptance of BBA. Okay, firstly we will talk about the definition of Bai Bisaman Ajil. In terms of BBA, it is derived from the word Bai, Bisaman and Ajil. These three words have a different meaning which refer to a single connotation as a combination. So literally, buy mean sale or a sale transaction, but the expression buy also mean contracts for selling and purchasing contract. Wizara Al-Awqaf wa Al-Shuyun Al-Islamiyah address the word buy as an exchange for asset. On the contrary, Shira in Al-Mawsu'ah Al-Fiqhiyah Hanafiyah assigned buy to mean mutual consent or to sell taradi. Therefore, the word buy will refer to a sale and a purchasing deal. If the term is used, the context of the contract will render the status of the buyer, purchaser, and a seller, the purchasee. In the other hand, the word thaman is the price that need to be exchanged for an object known as al-mabi, which is also valuable. In Islamic banking and finance, thaman is an important element that should be revealed in the contract session to determine the legality of a contract. Next, the term ajil in Islamic banking and finance normally appears in a future payment, sales including future delivery the price. So, Bai Bisaman Ajil is a sale with deferred payment of the price. By all means, Bai Bisaman Ajil, it is technically is a sale contract where the manner or the method of the payment is a deferred payment sale, whether on the basis of lump sum or an installment. The Bai Bisaman Ajil also, it is valid if the period for the settlement of the price is fixed without any ambiguity or uncertainty. Like an example, the price is to be settled within a year period. Besides that, BBA is also known as Bai Al-Taqsid, sale with installment payment, Bai Al-Muajjal, sale with deferred payment. This term is employed in Pakistan, Bai Al-Muajjal, and Bangladesh. And also, BBA is known as a Bai Al-Nasiyah and Bai Al-Ajil, which mean sale with delayed payment or and deferred sale. But in the Middle East, a similar practice is used under the term murabahah. However, in Malaysia, both terms refer to two different products. Next, about the sources from Al-Quran and Hadith about that talk about the BBA, Bai Bisaman Ajil. Firstly, from Al-Quran, it said, Allah said from in Al-Baqarah, juz number 2, ayah 275. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما بيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا فمن جاءه موعظة من ربه فانتهى فله ما سلف وأمره إلى الله ومن عاد فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. The mean is, those who have that usury will not stand, but like one deranged by the devil touch. That's because they say, trade is just like usury, while Allah has allowed trade and forbidden usury. وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. Usury means riba in this term. And then, whoever on receiving advice from his Lord relinquish usury shall keep what is past, and his matter shall rest with Allah. As for those who resume, they shall be the inmate of the fire, and they shall remain in it forever. Al-Baqarah juzuk 2, juzuk 2, 275, ayat 275. The above verse explain to us that Allah allows his believer allow his believer taking the profit from buying and selling, but in a halal way. Buying and selling must be done with satisfaction with each other and in accordance with the teaching of Islam, to avoid the riba and shubhah. And secondly, the sources from hadith is أن عائشة رضي الله عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اشترى طعاما من يهودي إلى أجل ورهنه ضرعا من حديد. It means, indeed, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had bought food from a Jew by differing payment for a specified period and pledging his armor as collateral. From the hadith, we can we can highlight the word by differing payment for a specified period. Rasulullah SAW bought a food from a Jew and pay by deferred payment. It is also that say that this BBA is also have been amplified have been used by Rasulullah SAW. And then for the next topic I want to discuss is about the different scholar opinion on BBA practice. Islamic fiqh scholar agree to allow the sale and purchase of good with deferred payment and accept the BBA practice. Imam Shafi'i explained that it is okay for a man to sell goods with deferred payment and buy them back from the buyer for a lower cash payment. Besides that, Imam Malik also approved the trading with deferred payment. For Imam Hanafi, anyone who sells an item at a cash price and then deferred payment within a specified period, then the law is valid and become a debt. As for Imam Hanbali, he has stated that any period or postponement made can be taken as a part of the price value. So, the top 4 scholar, mazhab Syafi'i, mazhab Hanafi, mazhab Maliki and mazhab Hanbali, obviously allow this BBA practice. Besides that, Ibnu al-Humam on the other hand explained that the proposition that requires the sale of goods at a higher price because it is delayed is based on the narration of Ibnu Umar radhiyallahu anhu, who said that after Rasulullah SAW equipped the army, he ordered me to buy a camel at the price of 2 camels in a deferred payment. Besides that, Sayyid Saqib on the other hand also think that sales can be done with a deferred price provided they agreed upon by the contracting party. But Ibnu Al-Hajar Al-Asqalani quoted Ibnu Battal, who stated that the delayed purchase must follow the ijma'. which means also Ibn Qudamah also concluded that the sale of transaction on deferred payment is not illegal based on human welfare and needs. Thus, it is clear that the financing of al-bay' bithaman ajil, which has been implemented by Islamic bank, especially in Malaysia, is required according to the text Al-Quran, As-Sunnah and Ijma' ulama to practice the BBA in a halal way. So thank you. That's all from me. We will go to our next topic that will be presented by my friend. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Ni Amir bin Kamal. Inshallah today I will present about the second objective in our assignment, which is the implementation of Bab Sama Ajil in Malaysia for home financing. Alright, I will present the one of subtopic of this objective. That's the application of Bab Sama Ajil. I will present and I will tell about the Bab Sama Ajil generally. Alright, what is the Bab Sama Ajil? Bab Sama Ajil is a deferred payment. Bab Sama Ajil is a deferred payment sale. There's an Islamic mode for home financing to buy the property, assets, as consumer products as well as supports. Bab Sama Ajil financing is employed bank to provide the medium to long term financing to the client for acquiring the item and property. That means we use Bab Sama Ajil products to buy the property, the assets such as car, motorcycle, house and others. BBA's underlying transactions are based on Murabahah definition, which is the cost or the sales with the benefits or the price is add up. The sales with benefits and price is add up is to make the benefits to the bank. That means the customer buy with the high predetermined price, predetermined payment to make a profit to the bank by monthly installment over a fixed period of time. In BBA also, the seller can sell the property to the bank with a sufficient amount of cash payment, then the property purchase is sold to the customer with a higher price with predetermined payment to make a profit to the bank by monthly installments at a higher price by monthly installment over a fixed time period. Even though these products are different, the primary distinction between the Murabahah and Bab Sama Ajil is the Murabahah is mostly used for the short-term transaction, while Bab Sama Ajil is used for the long-term transaction. Application of Bab Sama Ajil is the most popular application in Islamic financing. Even there are many types of product we can use in home financing like Musharraf Mutanakisa and others. A BBA's contract is a contract has related to Murabahah. This is because this is related the price settlement made based on installment. Under this arrangement, the products are delivered on the spot, while the price plus the profit margin are paid in installment. Initially, both Murabahah and Bab Sama Ajil are two distinct forms of sales, not modes of financing. Besides that, they have factors which is the influence the decision of the traders and the customer to use the Bab Sama Ajil in the product Islamic financing to buy the property or to use in home financing. The factor influence to the trader or the customer is the knowledge, the society perceptions, and others. So that's all I have for today. I will pass to the Fakrul Ahmad to give the second subtopic in this objective, which is the modus operandi of Bab Sama Ajil in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fakhr Amar bin Abdul Rahman. My matrix number 2019, 219 and 226. I will present for my part, which is modus operandi by Bisaman Ajil. In brief, in the slide is about the step or the modus operandi with Mr. Ahmad's situation. So for in this slide, for the first, Mr. Ahmad identified the house to be acquired and signed the SMP agreement with the vendor. Second, bank purchases the asset from Mr. Ahmad. And third, bank subsequently sells back the house to the Mr. Ahmad at remaining price plus profit. And last, Mr. Ahmad pays the house to the bank by installments based on the agreed period. So for all the steps, I will go through for all these steps deeply, which is with Mr. Ahmad's situation. After Mr. Ahmad identified the house, we assume that the house worth 500,000. Then Mr. Ahmad will pay the down payment. Let us say 10% from the price. So 10% equal to 50,000. After that, Mr. Ahmad will sign the sales and purchase agreement. So with this agreement, Mr. Ahmad will this agreement is like a booking for the house, and Mr. Ahmad will find the bank who will be a financier for the house. And for the bank, the bank will determines the requirement for the customer. They have some requirements that before the bank approve the financial facility. So the condition of the requirement, first, the age. The customer that's 18 until 65 years old eligible to apply this product. And second, the customer must a Malaysian, not a permanent citizens or foreign citizens. And last is the most important requirement, which is the customer must have fixed income. And also the bank will check the status about the customer. The bank will check the status customer, like employment and salary, and the bank also will check either the customer in a blacklist or not. And lastly, the bank also will check the customer if the customer has made other payment or not, like vehicle or other properties. And also bank will check how the customer or the applicant pay the debt. After the bank approve the financial facility, the bank purchase the asset from Mr. Ahmad to get or to obtain the ownership. The bank will purchase the house from Mr. Ahmad through the property purchase agreement, which is BBA. So the purchase price is consists of the remaining balance price after deducting 10% down payment, which is 450,000 ringgit, and plus other costs like lawyer's fee and MRTA. Thus the financial amount is more than the remaining price. So next, the third step is bank subsequently sells back the house to Mr. Ahmad at deferred price, who gets delivery of the property on the spot. Talk about the price. The price must get the agreement between Mr. Ahmad and bank. The price includes the actual cost plus the profit. And the last step is Mr. Ahmad pays the house to the bank by installments based on the agreed period. So in this step, Mr. Ahmad and bank must sign PSA, property sales agreement, which is this agreement show that the bank allowed to sell back the property or the house to the Mr. Ahmad. So that's all the modus operandi from the beginning until the end, the process of modus operandi. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Iqbal bin Fauzi. After we heard about the modus operandi and the application of BBA, now we will go to the acceptance of BBA in home financings. Okay, the acceptance of BBA in Malaysia. First of all, BBA are most likely are not be used in Malaysia nowadays. The reason is there are several issues that occur on the existing of BBA, Muslim and non-Muslim. One of the issue, the most unsatisfaction issue is the price tag. We can see that if we compare the price tag of BBA, conventional loan and murabaha, we know that BBA is more higher than other. The reason is, according to my research, they said that the price tag is higher than the other is because they have to follow the BLR, base lending rate, but that occurs in about year 2008. Nowadays, BBA is not used because of some of this issue. Okay, and in fact, BLR, base lending rate, have changed to BR, as we know is base rate, and the structure are different from BLR. If BLR, the rate was fixed by the central bank, but in BR, the branch bank can decide the rate that they want to fix. The condition of BBA, the first of all, non-ribawi commodities. Second one is duration of contract must be clearly stated in a precious manner. And last but not least, payment can be made in a form of installment, one lump sum, and combination of both. Okay. Issue of BBA different pricing. Okay, this is based on the scholar, Islamic scholar. Few minority scholars are against the sale of product with deferred payment at higher price than daily price. Majma' Fiqh Islami conclude that by taksid, as we know is synonym to BBA, is permissible in Sharia. Majority scholar allowed different pricing for both normal sale and BBA based on several reasons. One of the reason is scholars such as Ibn Qayyim said that the permissible since the element that prohibited riba, uncertainty, gharar, and gambling maisir does not exist in the transaction. So it means that if the BBA have the element that prohibited in Islam, it will automatically prohibited on using the BBA. Okay. Now we go to the comparison between conventional loan and the BBA. Okay, BBA first of all based on buy and sell method. However, conventional loan is a borrowing and lending method. About the price, BBA are using a fixed profit rate. However, the conventional loan is the price pegged against base lending rate. We can say that a conventional loan is a subject to BLR. Okay, at this point, after I read some research, they said that even BBA is using a fixed profit rate, but it's still under the BLR. However, there's still a dissimilarity about BBA between BBA and conventional loan about this profit rate and interest rate. The difference is BBA, the profit rate is fixed, is determined, and it determined, and for example, if the profit rate is 10% for annual for a year, and for the period of the lending, and it will be same until the end of the purchase of the installment. However, conventional loan is are not like the BBA, that the price is not determined like the percentage of the rate. Okay, next, repayment is fixed, and conventional loan repayment varies and based and also on base lending rate BRR fluctuates. BBA, the total amount payable non-upfront, and conventional loan, the total amount payable not only at the end of the period. So at this point, BBA customer will know how much they have to pay on their installment. However, the conventional loan, they can do anything because they will know the price at the end of their finish their installment. And for addition, BBA that used in Malaysia are not like the classical BBA, because BBA in Malaysia is a combined of BBA and Buy-INA. This is according to the research that I have made from Juzul Jasri Abdul Razak. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Anas bin Iskandar. My card matric number 2019-230-594. Okay, today I will present my part, which is issue in by Bitamal Azim. Okay, for your information, issue home financing by Bitamal Adil divide into two situations, which is first, no need to involve the court, and the second must involve the court, which is first I will present the situation no need to involve the court. First, the first issue is the consumer is deemed to have sold the property to the bank. This poses potential problem when the property is still under construction. Okay, the second issue is the consumer, they make monthly payment based on the price that is sold to him by the bank. Okay, in the case mentioned, the consumer has bought a condominium under construction for RM 249,500. Okay, under the contract, the bank should buy this house from him and sell it back to him for 744,766. Okay, he was given 30 years to repay the amount through monthly installment. Okay, the condominium project was later abandoned, which is terbengkalai. At that time, the bank had issued 9,560 to the developer, and the consumer then offer to repay RM 10,000, but the bank want more than 505,000. This is basically the same as the profit that the bank should have achieved plus the amount already paid to the developer. Okay, yes, the third issue is why and how Goro occurred in the BBA transaction in a bonded housing project. Okay, the answer is Goro interaction mean activity involving sale transaction involving ambiguous term and the subject matter of the deal and defined term of the contract. It also requires the seller inability to deliver the subject matter of the contract. Okay, in Islam, the transaction of Goro is prohibited as its presence can affect the right and interests of the contract parties. It can lead the contracting parties to enmity, animosity, injustice, and loss. Allah also say in the Quran, which mean, and do not eat your wealth among yourself for arrogance, and do not use it as bait for the just, which the intention that you can eat wrong and know a little about other people's properties. In Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 188. So the issue which is need to involve the court which is first Bank Islam vs Azhar Osman and other case in 2019 at High Court of Malaya at Kuala Lumpur. In this case, the plaintiff bank sued to which is Salman, the defendant, for having failed to repay the Islamic financing which is by vitamin Ajil transaction. So in this case, in the court, the judge, which is Rohana Yusof, rejected the contention of the plaintiff bank. So she decided the plaintiff bank is not entitled to claim the full purchase price of the property when there is premature termination. The plaintiff bank should not claim the unearned profit. So in the conclusion, the plaintiff bank should grant rebate. The policy is consistent with regulation. I repeat, the policy is consistent with the requirement of section 266 kurungan 1 NLC and on the ground of equity. So the issue I take in International Journal of Law issue 30, Government and Communication. That's all for me. Thank you.